What is up, guys? King of Underworld here, back at you with more energy this time. And I'm sorry, I know you guys been long requesting for part 6 to come out. And oh boy, is it back out again. So, bear with me for a couple seconds. Yeah, it was actually starting from Friday, but Friday onwards I was continuing with the schedule, so tomorrow is going to be Ahsoka and so forth is what I have pinned to my, what I should have pinned to my community tab. Probably should put up my Discord as well, which is a link down below. But yeah, um, keep well, keep liking if you want to see the series. Let me know down below what you think, and also I'll put a poll out soon for for people to suggest their ideas, and I'll put a poll out later for people to vote for what their ideas are out of the most liked, I guess. I'll discuss it more at the end of the video, but yeah. And let's get back into it. So, last part we had left off with, well, Deku and Setsuna facing off against the finals, and she decided to tempt him a bit, giving him a bit of a tease, as she was trying to flirt with him a bit to throw him off balance. And she challenged him directly. If he didn't use any one of his, words, he would get a prize, as in order to try and shake him off. As Deku responded with, "Oh, well, if you can beat me, I'll do any one thing you say." Which also threw Setsuna off a bit, so the two were fighting with their heart's content, just using their martial arts abilities. Setsuna was gaining the upper hand as, well, Deku kinda cheated. As, well, he never said what his, he never said what his wish was. As we left off when they were walking home, well, after the sports festival. As this is where we'll start the new part. As, well, Setsuna just asked, "Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. I was too busy with the whole ceremony. But, what was your reward?" "Oh, that's right, I forgot to ask. How about you go on a date with me tomorrow?" "You sure that's all you want?" "Yeah, having a fun time with you is plenty enough." "Oh, I thought you were gonna be a little cheeky boy and pull a fast one on me." "Why would I do that?" "Oh, no reason. As now boys can be." And his face flushed red a bit and says, "That's not what I was thinking at all." "Oh, well, Zuko, you know that you don't have to wear a mask when it's just the two of us." As, well, he pulls it down and says, "Salmon, salmon." There we go. After all, then no one can understand what we're saying, so whatever we say is just between us. As he scratches his head and says, "Salmon." Oh, mustard leaf? So she says, "Alright then, meet at the train station at 11. Izuku nods and then waves her goodbye after giving a kiss on the cheek. And, well, the next day rolls around, as Izuku had decided to get there early because he was a bit nervous. So he thought to get there about 10 minutes earlier, as, well, it was 5 from 11, as he was looking at his watch he had on his wrist, as he saw Sasuna, coming out of the train station. As he put on his mask since they're in a public area, and didn't want to draw too much attention with his raspable language. And also, he didn't want people to realize who he is because of the whole sports festival. So, he had the mask on and says, "Setsuna, you're here early. I could say the same for you." "Well, isn't a guy supposed to come to the train station and say, 'Here, I just got here'?" "Touche. Well, where do you want to go?" Well, what places do you like?" Do I like? Well, I know the cute cafe nearby we can go to." Izuku just nods and says, "Sure, why don't we go there?" Sethana's just like, "Yay, I've always wanted to go try this place. However, my friends are always too busy, and me as well." Izuku just laughs it off, and then the two start heading to the cafe. As it was actually a cat cafe. As well, Sethana didn't know it, but Izuku had an insane infatuation with cats. And so he basically, his eyes just went all starry as he started hugging them all and laying down, being absolutely adored by the cats. As Setsuna took a sneaky picture with a little cat filter on it and sent it to all her friends. She was just laughing. And, well, Izuku was just saying, "What is it?" And it says, "Oh no, it's quite cute seeing all the cats cuddle up to you. I know I love cats. It seems I love you too." Then, well, they sat down for a bit more as they were just while being swarmed by cats. Izuku just had his lap full. Setsuna had a nice, silky black cat sit on her lap, saying, "These guys are adorable." I know, right? How about we get something to eat? So as Izuku says, "Oh yeah, I forgot we're in a cafe." Is he that distracted by them? Focus on me over here. As he reaches his hands and pats her on the head and's like, "Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about you." That's why I asked you where you wanted to go. She blushes a bit and's like, "Jack, that was a low blow." He says, "How is that a low blow?" And then they order some food as Deku had gotten a chocolate parfait as he had a bit of a sweet tooth, and Setsuna had gotten I'll say a strawberry crepe. As the two were eating, they were both enjoying. As Setsuna was just taking a big bite of her food. She seemed like she was in heaven. She's like, "It's so good." It's like, "Is it?" "Well, I'm glad you like it. What have we got there?" As he reaches over the table and gets a bit of cream that was nicked on the side of her cheek as he pulls his mask down and just licks it off. And she blushes red for a second. As, he sees this and he goes, "What, are you a bit embarrassed?" It's like, No. What are you talking about?" "I'm just messing with you." He's like, "Dummy." "What was that?" "Nothing." As after the 2 hours is up because they decided to sit in there for a while. It's around about 1 o'clock. As is He walked out and said, "Well, is there anything else you want to do?" "What about you, Izuku?" "Well, this whole date was meant to be your reward, but I asked you out, so it's only fair." "I know, but I want you to enjoy it just as much as I am." "Well, the cats seem to love you, so I think you're already enjoying yourself, but you know what I mean." Says, let's go to, a place I know we'll both enjoy." As he starts walking around a bit, as he says, there it is." Says, "What's this?" "This, it's an old, arcade I used to go to." And says, "Oh, wow. Oh, wait, no way, they got these old games on here? You couldn't find these anywhere." "I know, it's my little secret spot." And right next to it was a newer one with a bunch of claw machines and ticket games if you want to go have a try there later. "Sure." As the two of them they have a bit of a fun time playing all the games like Time Crisis and Metal Slug. For you who know those games, you're legends. As then they move over to the little crane game area as, Setsuna really wanted this cute little lizard plushie. And she's like, she kept trying to go for it, but kept missing every time. She's like, "Stupid machine, I just want it. Why can't they just give it to me?" Uh, well, Izuku says, "Here, let me." It's like, "It's no use, it's rigged." Says, "Yeah, but I'm a living cheat code." As he pulls down his mask and looks at himself and says, "Lucky." He pulls it back up as a little faint glow appears from him, disappears. As he goes across and picks up the lizard first try. As it drops down and he goes, "No way, come on, you couldn't have done that earlier." "Sorry, you just look so cute when you're focusing on it. As he hands her the plushie as she squeezes it tightly and says, "Oh, thank you, it's so adorable." He says, as he grabs at his friend and says, "Hold on." As he leans back and takes a picture and says, "Well, I don't know which one's the cuter one here." As he was completely blocking the lizard with his thumb, he says, "See, I can only see one." It's like, "You're a dummy. How many times are you going to keep saying that?" And if I remember correctly, I got one of the highest scores in the entrance exam. That has nothing to do with this, and you know it. Then, well, then they decide to go around to some of the ticket games. They rack up a lot of points as Deku's super luck didn't seem to run out as it lasted for about an hour as they racked up all the major jackpots, all the prizes as they got a giant teddy bear and says that was one of the biggest prizes that you'll need to get very lucky to grab as it was the size of a person. And it's like, geez, this one's a bit much, isn't it? I don't know, it's kind of cute. I should give it a name. It's like, Sesame just thinks for a minute. Let's name it Kuma. You're calling a bear in Japanese? Why? Nothing. I was just wondering why you wanted to call a bear a bear. Well, I'm not very good at naming things, okay? I wasn't trying to pick on you. Then, oh, Sesame just says, "Hey Zuku, do you want to come over to my place? My parents should be home, but they've been wanting to meet you as I kind of was talking about you a little bit." Then, well, Setsun, Izuku blushed a bit, but then he said, "Okay, I want to meet your family." As they start walking home, as they're taking the big plushies, as, well, they got off and started walking to her house, Setsuna had a plan going, but she wasn't revealing it just yet. So they open the door and says, "I'm home." It's like, no response. It's like, she looked at her phone. "Oh, I didn't see it." "What?" "My parents said they were stepping out for about 10 minutes to go grocery shopping, so they should be back here soon." "Okay, well, let's see them." "Okay, I see." Says, "Should we go put these down in your room?" And says, "I was thinking the exact same thing." "Well, let's go sit down and relax for a bit before they get back." As, well, they go up and put the big bear laying next to the bed, and the lizard, sitting on top of its lap. Well, as the two just sit down for a bit and says, "Wow, you got a pretty big room." Says, I know, it's almost it's kind of too spacious, I believe." "Well, now you got this big guy," as he grabs the bear by the head. He's like, "You don't have to worry about that." It's like, "You're right, bit too big." "Well, you get something to cuddle." "Oh, that's true." Then, well, Setsuna says, "Come on, sit on the bed." As he sat down there, as she got up behind him and hugged him from behind. Says, "Are you a bit huggy now?" It's like, "A little bit." As then she flipped him around and says, "Well, you trying to start wrestling me now?" It's like, "What have I said about having the mask on? It's just the two of us." Says, "I know, but your parents are going to be here any second. As says, don't worry about that, you can always put it back on. Says, no, I just want to make sure that if they come home, I can go greet them straight away. Says, see, about that, what? They told me they were going out for the day, so they won't be back until later. As she pushes him down to the bed, and as he tries to say, wait, she tears his mask off, as she kind of had this whole thing planned out from the start, as she locked his hands up in handcuffs, both of them, as he kept trying to go away, as they're saying, well, it's time for your award that I promised you. As she kind of licked her lips evilly, as he was about to try and say stop. She took off her underwear in a blinding speed and stuffed it in his mouth and put tape over it so he couldn't speak. So, come on, don't resist. It's only just getting started. She then licked the tip of her finger seductively. As she starts unbuttoning his shirt and pulling down his pants. And he starts to freak out a bit. He was kind of into it, but also a bit terrified that she had gone onto a bit of a dominatrix. And she kind of took the lead. And she got on top of him and said, don't worry, I'll show you a good time. We can go all night long. And after a few disgruntled trying to say Bonito Flakes, but muffled down as to where the words wouldn't come out properly, says, come on, a good boy should not resist. As then she starts kind of having her way with him. As he looked drained, his eyes were sleepy as she was panting very hard, and it's like, you can go for a long time, can't you? But boy, were you fun to play with. And she kind of took the tape out of his mouth, and took the underwear as well, as he was all sweaty after being used like a literal boy toy. As he's like, Salmon, mustard leaf. I ain't that worn out. It's only been an hour. As he looks at her with horror for a second there and just goes, Bonito Flakes, as she couples his mouth and says, don't worry, I'll make you feel so good you don't even know where you are. As then she goes for round 2. As then after she's done, she realised that he had passed out. And so she took a commemorative photo on using his phone and commemorating their happy occasion. As then after about 15 minutes, she realised what she had done and she decided to, clean him up a bit. Says, Izuku, come on, wake up. As he wakes up and startled a bit, and says, Salmon, Bonito Flakes. It's like, as he puts the mask back on, says, it's fine. I got a bit carried away. You see, you're being so sweet today. I kind of got my gears turning, and when I saw the opportunity that we were going to be alone together, I kind of went wild. So, to think a guy who can literally destroy the world in a single word was dominated by his girlfriend. As she started laughing around herself, and it's like, well, I guess that's how you could put it. You're a good little fuckboy, literally. So please don't call me that. I'm so glad that nobody would know about this. So, well, then her parents finally came home as he introduced herself after having a shower and getting um, everything dried and cleaned. He started to introduce himself as I was surprised that Setsuna, well, they kind of knew something was going on between them when they saw them talking very intimately during the fight, as they were both smirking at each other the entire time and seemed to be having lots of fun. So this is your boyfriend, Setsuna. I didn't think you'd be such a handsome young man. She says, I know, I snagged a good one, didn't I, mother? Oh, that's my girl. As So the father kind of laughed it off as he basically gave the same look of terror that, well, Izuku gave to Setsuna when she was playing around with him. As they kind of shake hands under the table with a tear of, with a bit of a tear of joy and sadness rolling across their face as if they know each other all too well. So, after introducing themselves and wishes them good night, he heads back home. Then we UA, come back to UA on Monday, as, well, not going to their class like normal, as it was now, well, lunchtime in the cafeteria, as Buck goes just saying, man, your girlfriend's really tough, kinda kicked the shit out of me, as he said, Simon, as somebody else, was talking to them for a bit, as he had to, so Deku put on his mask, to communicate with them. And he said, oh, those rice balls are over there. He says, oh, thank you. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Deku, I feel so sorry for Setsunoa when she must be having to deal with you. Well, you know what I mean? She must be so sore. Uh, Setsunoa was walking right next to the table at the same time she was about to sit down, unaware by Bakugo. As, well, she just says, yeah, my legs are a bit sore after pinning him down for 30 minutes straight. Bakugo locks eyes with Deku. With an intense stare, he says, oh my fucking god! You're a bottom man? How can you, who can cause a natural disaster with a single fucking word, be a bottom? As he starts laughing his ass off. As Setsuna is laughing with him. As people started just wondering what the hell is going on. As he was just kind of ducking under his hands. He's like, oh, please, no. Then, well, it was getting very embarrassing. It was like, oh man, I always looked up to you, but now I look up to you in a different light. The world's strongest power bottom. Oh god. Oh god. That's fucking hilarious. As he just says, Bakugo, shut up. I'm sorry, it's too funny, man. Like, next time, could you not please make it such a big deal? So what Bakugo just gives, sets another best high five anybody could ever produce in the whole of humanity's history. As she's just like, I've got to commend you. I thought that man would never find somebody who can control him. But you seem to have a knack for it. No, I guess it runs in the family. As he kind of gulps, because she was kind of staring at him while she says that. As then, after to continue talking, Bakugo's still laughing a little bit. They had finished eating their lunch and now getting ready for their afternoon class. As they were going to decide, well, what they were, well, they were deciding what they were going to call themselves, for their hero names. As I said, well, your internships are going to be coming up as heroes who have watched well, watched the live performance given to by all the students, had put in their votes for who they want to take under their wing. However, before you must do that, you must also have a proper hero name. And that is why I brought in a professional for this. As Midnight walks in and she says, "Hello guys, I'm here to help you with your hero names today. A good name is what captures the hearts of the people." As then she starts explaining the history of how hero names have always brought to light well, the true nature of the hero. So everybody was starting thinking of, well, who was it again? It was Aoyama. Aoyama came up and gave him their crappy name. As then everybody was just feeling a bit down. As Barker decided to go up next, as he thought he was, well, as he thought his idea was the best. So he slams his card down. King Explosion Murder. But nice, that's too violent. It's like, well, Deku just says, puts his mask on and then just says, well, he had it on because he was in class. He just says, what about Ground Zero? As, well, Barker just smiles and says, I like it. I like it a lot. Or then call me the explosive hero Ground Zero. Hey, it rhymes. Hey, Deku, you're a lot better naming things than I thought. Says, come on, tell us your name. As, well, Deku's just thinking for a while. Then he decides to come up. And he reveals to the class his name is... I'll be the wild card hero, the Silent Sorcerer. As, well, people just think that has a nice ring to it. But then Midnight says, why are you the Silent Sorcerer when you speak? As then, well, Bunker decides to answer the question for him. Says, well, how many times have you actually heard him speak English or Japanese? And she said, never. There you go. No one's ever heard him speak. Therefore, the Silent Sorcerer, as it seems that whatever he wants to happen will happen. Like a sorcerer, bending the elements to their will. As they thought, well, then, with a bit of nodding, Midnight says, yes, that suits you quite well, actually. Excuse my, inconsistencies with trying to think of it. As he puts back on, he says, I've had no mind, it's fine. As then Bakugo just turns around in his seat as, Deku sat back down and says, I bet you were the Silent Sorcerer, as he punches him in the arm. And he's like, what was that for? And so he says, you, be quiet. Ah, never. Well, it seems that she could keep you quiet. How long are you gonna make jokes about this? Until you grow old and die. That's just mean. Well, that's the life we live. So then, all of them were deciding which hero they should intern with. People seem to choose heroes that seem to fill the quotas which they lack. However, Deku did not seem to lack anything, as he had quite the martial arts proficiency. As he always thought that, while his quirk was powerful, he knew that if people could stop his voice from, him from speaking, he'd be fine. But that would be fine. So, he always covered it by learning martial arts, as he was quite proficient there, as displayed in the sports festival. So, he decided to go with a hero close to home. He chooses Present Mike, as they seem to be very similar in nature. Well, In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. President Mike was quite outgoing with his quirk, whereas Deku was a bit shy. As So he chose President Mike to try and help him get out of his own shell. And yeah, this is what I thought would be a fitting choice. So he interns with President Mike as, well, he decided to take him on a bit of public strolls, as he he wanted Deku to get used to uh, the fame of being a hero, as people would often come up to President Mike asking for an autograph, as he's a well-respected DJ and not just a hero. So they wanted his autograph, both musician and a hero. So many people would always come up to him, as they would recognize the kid standing next to him was the sports festival winner, as they would want his autograph as well, and to ask him questions, as he always had his mask on. And people just ask him, why do you always have that mask on? He says, well, you see, I can't speak normal English, or Japanese. It's a side effect of my quirk. Why, can't you speak it properly? No, I can speak it just fine. If I don't have this mask on, as he takes it off, sushi's kombu mustard leaf. As he puts it back on, you can't understand what the hell I'm saying. So people ask, why is that? Well, for some reason, for some unknown reason, it seems that riceable feelings are the only thing that don't affect my quirk's speech. So, if it doesn't affect it, it allows me not to use any powers, therefore not accidentally hurting somebody. Says, oh, I see. Yeah, that must have been tough. It was, but you learn to get over it. As he starts signing and talking to people more and getting more open. As well, President Mike was grinning a bit as he says, alright, let's go. Let's go see if we can find some more trouble kicking about. So, you want us to find trouble? You know what I meant. As he flicks him a few finger guns and is like, I guess I do. As they see a few big villains heading their way as they're running away from the police vehicles. As everybody sees President Mike there, as they cover their ears. As he goes, right! As his echoing voice send them flying back in a shockwave. As Izuku just says, in order to be heard, he says, scream! Chain! As they become binded in chains. As they seem to just appear out of nowhere. Then they fall to the ground, captured and bound up, while also being disoriented thanks to President Mike. As President Mike just thought, if I remember correctly, from your quirk, it's very much like my own. How so? Well, it affects yourself in as a physical drawback. However, mine's a bit more potent on the ears. I have to wear hearing aids or special blockers to stop myself from going deaf. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Yeah, but you get used to it. After all, my name is President Mike without keeping the president involved. I have no idea what that means, sir. Neither do I. Okay, but back to the topic at hand. It seems that your quirk is insanely powerful. You're not bad with martial arts and combat. Hell, you can even rival Aizawa. However, it's your quirk's drawbacks that seem to be quite heavy. It says my throat, isn't it? Exactly. Have you actually ever tried to, force the amount you can use your quirk for? It says, I tried using it, more and more, so I need to be able to say one word, then I'd start coughing blood. If it was powerful enough and if I focused it, I wouldn't be able to speak for a day. Says, I can understand. Well, maybe try and go to an area where there's nobody nearby, and nothing that can seem to, and think of all the words that are as powerful as you can, away from where people are currently living, and just try and fire off as many powerful attacks as you can, and when your voice starts to give out, keep pushing it further. Well, you got Recovery Girl to help you, I guess, but I don't know. Believe me, kid, even though I'm a bit outgoing, I never used to be this forward. I used to be quite shy, actually. However, when you become older, you realize that insecurities are just thing you have to kind of get over and accept. And that's why I am the cool man I am now. As people start, seeing, seeing President Mike pose, as Zuki says, well, I guess you're right, sir. Oh, that's right. Thursday, we're gonna go to Hosu. Why Hosu? Well, I got a concert there. A concert? Well, yeah, I was sent on patrol there, however, they said they didn't need it. As they brought in some extra heroes for the Hero Killer Stain. So, I was told that as long as I'm still there, I can do whatever I want, as long as I can be called on a moment's notice. So, I decided to surprise my fans that live out in Hosu with a concert to try and keep people a bit more upbeat. Can I get an alright? As Deku would just say, alright? That's not the spirit, but we'll keep looking for it. I guess so. So then, Thursday had come around after, so it's almost been a week. It's been about a week. As, Deku had arrived at the station as President Mike and his gang were there, ready to set up. As they met an old man who was there, and surprisingly Setsuna. As he said, Setsuna, I didn't know you did an internship with Gran Torino. It's like, oh, the youngster's heard of me, has he? Says, well, you're one of the most famous heroes back in your day. Oh, you give this grandpa way too much flattery. I mean it, sir. Yeah, well. So, no offense, but why'd you pick Gran Torino? Well, my body can float and at certain speeds, and I want to, learn to use that like Gran Torino does. Try and turn my body into a hail of fists and bullets. I see, it's quite smart. So, it says, Gran Torino just asked him, and Gran Torino and President Mike, they look at each other and says, how do you know one another? As, the two of them just blankly look at them and it's like, oh, we're dating. As the two were quite shocked as one was a very shy person, one was very outgoing when they're going. So explaining this is like, man, youngsters these days seem to be getting further and further apart from each other. I know, it's kind of shocking the differences in their personalities. Then, as they were just talking between themselves, the train stopped for a second and says, an emergency announcement. The trainway has been blocked as there has been a villain attack. It says, a villain attack? As the president might saying, oh no, my fans. Grand Turner says, enough about your fans. Your fans won't make it if they're on this train trying to get to Hosu. Come on, let's go check the problem. As all four of them head up the cart a bit, as they see a fire ahead, as a giant hole gets burst through the, well, through the side of the train. And, well, Deku and Gran Torino reacted first. They started running towards it. It says, "No, youngster, let me take care of this one." It says, "I know how to deal with these things." It just says, "Decay," as it crumbles away, and says, "What'd you do that for? Why'd you kill it?" It's like, "It wasn't a living person, sir. We've dealt with these before. These are the Nomus." The Nomus? Ah, yes, that thing you encountered at the USJ. Well, it says, "So let me get this thing." As he looks forward at the track and says, "Repair." As it fixes itself and the train starts, getting back on track as, well, all of them decide to jump down. Setsuna caught herself with her, um, with her levitation from her quirk. Present Mike just landed stylishly after swinging off a light post. Gran Torino, well, he has jets on his feet, so I reckon he'll be fine. And last but not least, Deku, he just stopped himself in midair before he hit the ground, and then, well, fell. Setsuna says, "It's effective, but not as flashy." Well, excuse me for getting things done efficiently. Says, "Oh, bit feisty, are we? Do I have to teach you where you belong?" He's like, "No, ma'am. It's fine." Good boy. As, well, seeing the state of the city, the two brave heroes said, "Alright, now you two, just leave this to the pros. Try and rescue any civilians that seem to be in immediate danger. Because we'll go on and help put these fires out and help tackle these Nomus." As, well, Dick says, "I can help." As he looks upwards and just says, "Rain!" As the sky starts dripping down, it starts falling into a heavy rain. As the fires start to, well, diminish a bit. And it says, "Thanks, kid, but go help the civilians." As, well, Setsuna uses her ability to split her body parts up to go and grab a bunch of civilians out of crumbled buildings from the Nomus rampaging. As Deku would just go around jumping building from building, grabbing some as well, and carrying them on his shoulder, and back down into a bunch of heroes to keep them safe. As he heard a yelp of pain, and he says, "Setsuna, I'm gonna go off into this alley. I heard someone crying for help. Regroup me after you're done helping those people." "Right." As he sees a man with knives all over his body, belts wrapped around his arms and legs, and a bright red cloth surrounding his face, says, as he licks a blade in front of him, as he sees his classmate Ida bent to the knees, looking desperate in his face as he's about to get stabbed by the hero killer. He says, "Oh, another fake hero wants to try and play, do they?" He says, "Ida, are you okay? Run away! He has a quirk that paralyzes you. Run! You're no match." "No match my ass." As he pulls off his mask while looking at Stain, says, "Stop!" As Stain was jumped up as Deku said that as he as he was frozen in midair. Midair. Says, "What the hell?" Well, funny thing about that is, you might have a quirk that can paralyze people, whereas I'm the whole damn definition of it. Says, as he rushes over to Ida and says, "Are you alright?" "Yeah, I'm fine. What about Native?" As he looks over and says, he's bleeding from the shoulder. Move over to the next one. When he can move again, just please, please take him somewhere else. I'll take care of Stain. As the binding starts wearing off, Stain starts to crawl out and says, "Nice try, kid, but now that I know what your power is, I'll get you to. I'll make you quiet for the rest of your life by cutting your tongue out. If you can touch me, that is." As he throws throws several knives as fast as he can, as they're from different directions. As Deku would just say, "Barrier," as all of them would stick into an invisible force around him, and they'll be flown back at Stain, as he'll deflect him with his katana. Says, "Not bad. You can think on the fly, kid. But why protecting these worthless heroes? They're not good for anything. They're just in it for the fame and glory." Says, "Fame and glory, my ass. It doesn't matter what a hero's trying to do, as long as he saves people and helps out by the end of the day. Anybody can become a hero. I don't care whether it's about the money or the fame. I'm just trying to save my friend. I'm trying to save you from killing innocent people. They might have, their own goals ahead of everybody else, and they don't deserve to die because of that." Says, "You talk like him, don't you?" "All mate." As he says, "I know you're getting that, but sure, let's say I do." "Well, you at least shape up better than these two. Now let's see how much you can put up a fight." As he was saving a bit of a trick up his sleeve by grabbing a few smoke bombs and throwing at Deku's feet, as he started coughing and wheezing, as then Stain was going around to blade directly in front of his face, as Deku barely dodged it while it sliced off a bit of the hair that was on his brow. Says, "That was close. I'm pretty impressed with the reaction time you got there. But you need to be faster to take me down." Then he just, mumbles, "Scatter," as the smoke disappears as Stain was flying down towards him. As he grabbed as he was about to get struck down by the blade, Setsuna, a flying punch goes towards Stain, as it was Setsuna. Says, "Got it just in the nick of time. That's one you owe me now, Deku." Says, "Yeah, I guess it is. It's time to take this creep down." As Deku was still coughing on the ground, as now Stain started trying to attack Setsuna, as he got about, as with his superior agility, he managed to get close to her very, very quickly. And it says, "Night, night, girlie." As he aimed for her neck, as he'd sliced across as her head came off. Says, "That's for all the worthless heroes." Says, "I wouldn't call it just yet, buddy." Said, "What? I cut your head off." "No, I cut my head off." As she takes this opportunity to take him by surprise, and using her body that was independently moving, grabbed him by the shoulders and kneed him in the nuts as he fell to the ground. It says, as Deku just came up and just said, "Bind," as he couldn't move and he was restrained. As he kept the focus on him, so bound for a while. Says, "That was a close one, Setsuna. I thought I lost you there." "Who? Me? You thought this guy could have taken me down? Have more faith in your lovely girlfriend." Says, "I know. I'm still worried though." Then, the heroes start arriving as, the rain starts to clear up as the nomads have most been taken care of. Endeavor and whatnot comes along and, well, grabs Stain and says, seeing as you don't have a license so far, we will not be giving you credit for this. As Susanoo's getting a bit annoyed, says, "Here, not getting any credit? How is that fair? He took down the villain all by himself, saved 2 people's lives, and you want to take all the credit? What kind of hero are you? It's not my place to decide this, it's the law. You do not have a license." "Oh, license my ass. As you should be ashamed that you are even considering doing this." As Satana, well, a hand put on her shoulder, and as Deku just says, "Well, it's fine, Satana. I don't care. As long as people are safe, that's all that matters. Credit or no credit, it doesn't take away from what was happened here today." Says, "I guess," but as she starts walking in front of him a little bit, he heard a loud screech as a gnome was flying towards her. As he says, "No, you don't! Get crushed!" As he looked directly at the Nomi that was about a mere few centimeters away from her face, as it twisted into a ball and then just plopped down to the ground. As he started coughing up blood, as he just, mixed around a bit and just spat on the ground. It's like, that dirty thing is not going to hurt you. Sethno collapsed the knees a bit and says, "That was scary." As he helped her up and gave her a big hug and was like, "That was close." And this is where I'm going to leave off part 6 to What If Deku was Toge Inumaki. I hope you all like the, series so far, and I hope you keep enjoying this. I will just say now, I will go, if people want it, the popular series, who want a continuation instead of just leaving off at season 5, because that is still currently airing, so it's still going to keep going. But instead of just stopping at season 5, if people want to, I will continue into the manga. So, anything that happens in the manga up to the current chapter, I will cover. And who knows, maybe in the future, I might go past it and do my own rendition. But that might be a very far future thing. But yeah, and also to extrapolate on what I was saying earlier about the 2K special, as we are only just over 250 subs away, which is exciting. Yeah, I'd like to say, I will put out a community post tomorrow. After this video has had a few watches and people can understand what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to put out a community post stating, asking what do people want us to see for a 2K special. So it's not going to become its own series, but just, I don't know, try and do what my friend Crown Fiend does, where he tries to make a big movie when the 2K special comes out. A big warning that if I end up doing this, the most liked, I'd say the top 3 most liked ones are going to be put in a poll, and whichever wins that will get that big movie. And instead of rambling on too long, I just want to also say thank you and whatnot for watching. Yeah. So a big movie, and that won't come out exactly when I hit 2K. Probably will come out when I'm able to record it because it's such a big one, and I'm getting back into the school week, so that's why I put the schedule in place, so you guys can get content every day, while not missing a beat, even when I'm at school. But yeah, anyway, I've been the King of Underworld, and I hope you all had a great day. Have a good one.